Hey everybody, and welcome back to the final installment of Set Apart, our Morning Manna devotional series. We've looked at various different leaders throughout biblical history, and we've seen how they were set apart to do great things for the kingdom of God. Well, today I want to highlight our young people. How can we as middle and high schoolers and college-age students begin to differentiate ourselves as those who are set apart for God? To answer this question, I want to start with some history. In the first century church, there was no greater discipler than Paul. His apostolic gift allowed him to raise up several church leaders, but there was none more precious to him than his spiritual son, Timothy. Timothy did not have a dad of his own growing up, so Paul took him under his wing and discipled him. And near the end of his life, Paul wrote to Timothy 2 letters. These letters are referred to as 1st and 2nd Timothy. Let me share with you a section of the first letter. Let no one despise you for your youth, says Paul, speaking to Timothy, but set the believers an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Simply put, as young people, it can be easy to be labeled as childish, immature, or a kid. When this letter is written to Timothy, he has just stepped into a greater role in ministry and is growing in age. Timothy might be as old as 40, and he doesn't realize it, but he is being trained to take over for Paul. So what does this mean for us as young people? It means that we should conduct ourselves in a manner of what a believer should do and how a believer should operate. We ought to do this in how we talk, how we act, how much love pours out from us onto others, how faithful we can be in God, and how pure we are in our souls. That's what it means when Paul says, in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Young people, let me say this. The greatest agents for the gospel were young. Most of the key figures that we've discussed in this series who were set apart were called out by God when they were very young. Joseph, Esther, Samuel, Timothy. When they started their walks with God, they were young. You are called to be set apart for such a time as this, to walk into the calling that God has for you. It doesn't matter about appearance or eloquence, smarts or looks, tall or short, thick or thin. He created you, and He has called you here and now. It shouldn't discourage you if you feel like you don't have enough inside you. God has you. You will face challenges. You may feel alone on your journey. You may be intimidated by the obstacles in your way, but God is faithful to shepherd you throughout your journey. Let me leave you with this last encouragement. Your relationship with God is what qualifies you, not your skill or your knowledge. If He called you, then you're ready. All you have to do is go, and He'll take care of the rest. Manna family, those who are called to be set apart for God's great works, thank you for sharing this time with me. I'll see you later.